This is the Stabby Road Podcast.
Hey everyone, we're back with another episode of the Stabby Road Podcast. This time we're doing something a little bit differently. We're not actually reviewing a movie, but we actually are going to talk a little bit about a movie. So back, was it now May 14th? We did a live show.
Like 2 weeks?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We did a live show at the Necromantic Brew Company, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, and we have some cool guests this time out. Sonia, it's you and I steering the ship today.
Let's go.
Josh is not here. TJ is moving today, so he is crazy.
TJ gets a pass.
He's a bit crazy,
Yeah.
and then the boys are on a tech scout for their feature. Another feature that they're doing. It's not particularly theirs, but they are producing it. So it's just you and I. We will each grab an oar and we'll get going. So
if there's anything I'm comfortable steering a ship for, it's Rocky Horror.
Yep. So yeah, we showed Rocky Horror. We had our second live show there, and our second live show ever, actually. The first one being back in Valentine's Day, or the day before. Actually, we did My Bloody Valentine, but this time was a little bit different. I think it was a lot more of an audience that came to participate, that came specifically to see Rocky Horror. They came specifically just to have that kind of experience and have that kind of fun, and I think we did too. I think we had a ton of fun doing it.
Oh yeah.
You came dressed as
Magenta.
Yeah. Yes, I came dressed as a guy who stumbled into the place. And we had a terrific time. I think we were able to give away some stuff, some prizes. We showed the movie. We had some trivia stuff afterwards, which I think we're going to change a little bit next time.
We're still working out kinks. Yeah. I'm working on some stuff for the next one too. So
good, excellent. So we actually have a whole bunch of prizes that we were able to store now for the next one as well. So that should be good. And we'll talk a little bit about our next show towards the end of this. Right now, I want to talk a little bit about what your thoughts were, Sonia, that night.
I mean, I had a blast. This is one of the formative films of my youth, and like sort of a, sexual awakening, and just kind of I hadn't sat and watched it start to finish in a long time. It's always on in the background, or like I have it on my phone, and I was like, man, is it still going to hit the same? And like, are people who maybe haven't seen it, are they going to get bored? I feel like it's always an important film, but like, I think right now, currently, it hit in a different way. Even people who had never seen it were like, man, yeah, kind of like the outsiders feeling validated, and it felt really good. It was fun. And I think it showed too that like people came for that experience, like the participation, because that's what Rocky Horror is associated with.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of opened up some doors where we're like, who says it has to just be Rocky Horror? We can encourage more experiences like that, like not just coming to watch a movie, but coming for an experience.
Oh, so, absolutely. I think when we did My Bloody Valentine, at one point you actually said, do you want us to participate? And people were like, no, we just want to watch a movie. But people got laughs and we just sort of goofed on stuff, and I think
exactly.
I think that was a cool little test bed for when we did Rocky Horror. I had the same experience growing up. When I first saw it, I wasn't used to that level of not just sexuality, but sexual liberation in a film. And like I guess I consider myself a straight man, but I'm watching it going, wow, everyone's giving me a boner, for me, that was actually, it was really freeing to do that, because I was like, oh, okay, I may be straight, but I'm not like a homophobe, or I'm not just uncomfortable with different things. And so that was a pretty seminal film for me as well. And again, the only times I've seen, I saw it 3 times, and it was all at midnight movies, and it was all people throwing stuff at throwing the newspapers and yelling back. So that's the only iteration I knew about of it. So even with my kids, with Josh, Stabby Take Josh and Stabby Take Jake, we purposely held back from watching it until we were in a situation where they could experience it
I
with that way. Yeah.
Bravo, you win the parenting. Like bravo. And I it clearly landed like getting to I didn't want to overhype it for Josh, but like knowing it was his first time seeing it, I was
Yeah.
so excited. And afterwards to hear how much he loved it was
Yeah.
just I don't
Yeah.
know. It made my day.
Yeah. And also how much,
Absolutely made
how many people still were participating and yelling stuff out
Yeah.
and it that hasn't died. What I think is
No,
the most amazing part since 1975, that side of it hasn't gone away.
I
People
love it. It's
still
like
love participating. Yeah.
exactly. And depending on where you grew up, obviously the talkbacks are all different and just kind of tell it was came flooding back to people throughout. Like I know I was having references I totally forgot about. It was an absolute blast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with how it went.
Yeah, I really was too, and I think we were all sort of nervous as to like, oh, is anyone even going to bother to show up? And
Oh yeah.
it was a really nice crowd for everyone. So I'm the same way. I was so happy with the night, and I hope to do more live shows, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But um, right now, we actually have a couple of special guests. So, ladies and gentlemen, right now, please uh, welcome the owner and event coordinator of Necromantic Brew Company. It is Ralph
Right.
Mandarino and Teresa Lambert. Hey guys,
Hey, how are
How
you?
you guys doing?
good. Thanks so much for coming on to the show. You guys are the first, I think, probably either non-horror directors or non-horror actors who ever been on the show. So
There
you
we
are our
go.
Yeah.
yes, you are our first horror brewery company guests to be on the show. So
We're in the
congratulations.
realm. We're in the realm.
Exactly.
Exactly. So yeah, and I think it was your idea actually to say, would you guys be interested in doing Rocky Horror? And
Yes.
I think originally
Yeah,
we
it's funny. So I always wanted to do some sort of Rocky Horror production after seeing it. I was like, wow, this would be really cool to do something as I was in the film industry. And I kind of spoke to Ralph about how I think it would be something that would be really cool because, here at Necromantic Brew Co, we're very inclusive. And not only are we inclusive, it's such a safe space to bring such a genre of horror that a lot of people, throughout the years, I mean, it's held its longevity within the film community as a cult classic. And we're all about inclusion and individuality and community here. So I thought it was just such a great thing to bring kind of to the table here at Necromantic.
yeah, I like that you use the word safe space because I think going there, like we now I feel like we're part of that family now when we come in because we don't feel discomfortable coming in. We've walked in, we feel like, oh, we're like kind of like a second home for us here. And
Hmm.
I've noticed that also with people coming in, like you guys have your regulars who come in, which we've seen a few times now, but also new people come in and everyone felt comfortable to yell stuff out and be part of the environment. And I think that's the thing I appreciate so much from you guys and are so grateful that you have cultivated this environment inside there for
Yeah.
all of us misfit toys who are horror nerds, and that we can come in and feel
Yeah.
comfortable and not feel self-conscious about being around people who are just like us.
Hmm.
I mean, that was, inherently the goal, when we were starting this in my basement and it was my buddy and I, I'll always tell the story where, I went to the dollar store and I got a shitty, dollar, shower curtain and a crummy projector. And, ironically, the vinyl player that we have, the upright player is the same player that we had in my basement. And
Oh wow.
we would make the beer and we would watch, and I mean, run the gamut of, all shitty B movies that you could possibly, and I say shitty, but we love these movies are the best
Oh yeah.
possible movies that you could be
Right, right.
watching.
Said with love. Said with love.
It's such a funny thing. I think I spoke to it was Dave Sheridan. I mentioned it to one time, and I was like, what other genre of film could you watch? What you would consider like a B or a C film, and get such enjoyment out of it. It was a
Hmm.
small conversation, innocent once, and he was saying how they had like a Hallmark Channel app or something along the lines of like romantic, rom-com type stuff. And immediately I was just like, yeah, but does that still hit the same way? If it's not
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock or Angelina Jolie or Brad Pitt or, some named star, does it hit? Where it's like here in
Yeah.
horror, you can have nobodies do some sort of scene, and it's one of the most memorable things you would ever see. And not to be too far off track, because Rocky Horror, you could argue at that time, who were these actors?
Right.
Of
Yeah.
course today you would say, Meatloaf is a megastar, but Tim Curry, of course, had been in so many films now.
Yeah.
But back then, who were these people?
Right.
And I just think it's so much fun, and that's what I love about the genre and the film, where you say it has staying power and stuff like that, and it absolutely does, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
brings the generations together too. I think
It
it's one of
does.
the things where
Yeah.
it's something that, you know, I watched growing up and my parents watched growing up. And I think that was a really cool experience to see that in the tap room, and it
Hmm.
held its presence here very well, is that we are a place for everyone, just like Rocky Horror is a movie for everyone.
And not to
Right.
get too mushy, but you can say, prior to the event, talking about generations, right? So her mother, and she even viewed it prior to the event with her 12-year-old niece.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
her 12-year-old niece was just like, wow, this is the coolest thing I ever saw. And her mother was like, yeah, can you buy the fact that I saw this in the theater?
Yeah.
Like I saw this in the theater.
Oh, I love that. It is truly bringing us all together.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember there was a woman in the back of the I keep saying relative. It's actually the front of the
Yeah.
the front of the bar.
We call it the back when the projector's on, and
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
changes. The front door changes its roles. It's like
Yeah.
almost like a revolving door in here of what is the front door.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But she was in the, yes, relatively she was in the back, but she was like an older person. It's clearly like a senior citizen, totally dressed up. You know,
Yeah.
which is and so you're right. There were so many different age groups there that all were there just to
and dogs.
experience this, and
And
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we had famous Dr. Loomis. Who's the little Chihuahua guy? Who's the
Smokey.
little
That's Smokey.
Smokey? Okay,
Smoky.
and I love that they're
Little
there too
punk.
because again, that sort of lends to that sort of family feel that they're just they're
Yeah.
part of the environment. They're not. I can't imagine there's a lot of places that would just have them there and have them part of the family of people who are there, and I absolutely love that too, that they have a safe space as well to be there. Um, yeah, so I mean, like right now, we have some more guests coming on the show on
Yeah.
top of everything. Uh, they have been guests on our show quite a number of times now, for different movies and for different guests that we have. Please welcome Lindsay and Manny Serrano from Mass Grave Pictures. Hey guys,
Hey.
Hello.
how are you? So this time out, we're not asking you to review movies for us. Come on with us. You have, yeah, you have another hat that you're wearing this time out, particularly for our live
I see. Thank you
shows.
for noticing.
And tell us a little bit about what your roles were for both when we did both My Bloody Valentine, but
Okay.
specifically for Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I guess so. I don't know what number hat this is, 12, 13. We recently started vending. So we actually make our own homegrown hot sauce. And we do a bunch of other really fun upcycled horror crafts. We have flannels that we do that are usually like our old t-shirts. I had do some little figurines called the tape heads, which are just little VHS guys. And then we actually introduced last year the blind date with the horror movie, which is super fun to put together. It's literally a blind bag with
We
a horror
actually
movie,
have ours.
popcorn.
We have ours to show off, but we haven't opened it yet. We're waiting actually for a date night to use this.
Yeah.
And I love it. I mean, I think this is such a great little concept to buy
Mhm.
as a gift. So we love having mass graves here as and we have literally 3 of the hot sauces right now. I used one today. So
Yeah, so do we. We have
Thank you.
some great hot sauces here. that we got from you guys and are still using because they are so good, particularly with what we use.
Awesome.
You
The
know,
blind bag was a hit. Like everybody
yeah,
was just like, you have to get to the table and get one of these. Like,
yeah.
bravo, guys.
You
Brilliant
also got you
idea.
guys also had some like rare videos too. You know, Josh and
Yeah.
I had been trying to get Josh to watch a movie called Hardware for the longest time. It is not on anything. We could not find it. I saw it in the movies, just to give you an idea as to how old I am. And loved it and could not find. I've had a crappy, scratchy VHS of it for years and was never able to. And then suddenly Josh runs over to me the night we're doing. Was it by Bloody Valentine or was it Rocky Horror? I forget which night. Runs over to me and goes,
No, it was
"Guess
Rocky
what?"
Horror.
Yeah, it's like, "Guess what the Serranos have?" And he holds up fucking Hardware, and I'm like, "Oh Christ, man!" I was like, "It's so amazing." So we were so grateful for that. So you
You're
guys
very
actually
welcome.
do
I'm
have,
glad.
yeah, you guys have a lot of videos to sell as well, and it's just a great table to have, and we're so grateful for you guys to be there because it offers just another texture to the night of stuff that they can take
It's
with
really
them and stuff that they
rewarding.
can, yeah.
It's really rewarding for us. I mean, that's one of the big things that we found is, when you kind of step up your collection, you're going from, the DVD to the 4K or the Blu-ray, what do you do with these movies then? And as much as fun it is to have 5 copies of Creepshow,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Can't have 5 copies of
you
everything.
can have 5 copies of everything. So we found that we started putting our old DVDs out there, and it's been really a blast the last couple of months introducing, the younger generation especially, but everybody to kind of rarer movies.
Mm-hmm.
And we do that through the blind dates, which is super fun. We actually each one of those is listed by an obscurity rating. So
Yes.
we'll have like some deep cuts, we'll have some, cult classics, they're all by year. And it's just been really a joy. I feel like a video store clerk again,
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that feels I was born to be a video store clerk. Unfortunately, I never was one, but
Oh,
that was totally my calling in life. They just don't exist anymore
I
as
know.
like they used to.
I was a video store manager, so I was actually
Wow.
I got to hire
Brag.
all the people, and they were all movie nerds. They were all film students and
I
movie
worked at
nerds.
Kim's Video, so
Oh, that's right. I forgot that. Oh,
Stop, you
wow.
worked at Kim?
Kim's
We
Kmart
literally just
place.
went. We
Yep.
went to Friday yesterday. We went to the Alamo where it is now, just yesterday. Oh, that's
That's
so cool.
That was I think the best part. That was the best employee perk I ever had. I got to go to the third floor video store and rent without any penalties or anything down. So like we went through the entire Kim's collection. You know?
I love the work in there. I got fired because I was just copying movies at night. So if like my boys will go downstairs and they'll see my old VHS collection, and none of them are originals. They're just all just copies of movies.
Hey, you know
Copies
what?
of movies that probably don't have copies exist anymore.
No, that's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch
You
that
were
you
doing a
cannot find.
service that you did not even realize you were doing a service for
Yes.
now the streaming era, and you
Yes.
have documented things that otherwise would be lost in history.
Yep.
So
I was low key archiving movies and
That's
breaking
it.
the law at the
You were
same time.
doing your part to archive. That's right.
Absolutely.
Well,
Conservation. Piracy is conservation.
Exactly.
my
I have a
first
Nintendo game that says property of Blockbuster on it. And believe it or not, at one point where it was illegal, it is now expensive to have that. So
Oh wow.
property of
We-
it's Legend of Zelda, if anyone was wondering.
We have put a couple of blockbuster copies of movies in those blind dates.
yeah.
There's a couple of them that have gone out there just with the blockbuster.
A
Yep.
rare pull, I'm hoping,
Yep.
like the dumpling thing that everyone's obsessed with. Did you get the Blockbuster version? Like, that'd be so funny.
We've had a couple of young kids, like we've had I think like 1 or 2 movies that were Blockbuster that still had like the sticker on them, and they were like, oh, "He's the Blockbuster sticker."
They're just excited to just see it.
it's real.
The store did exist. Wow.
Oh,
Yes, it wasn't just an old wives' tale or
Yeah.
right?
or legend. It wasn't legend. The legends are
Like
two
the
kids.
ET game.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, I miss those days. That's something I wish we could just bring back, even if it's just for fun. Like
It was a simpler time.
it was, and just getting
Yeah.
to, it was a whole night. You weren't just watching a movie. It was an event. You were going to, and you were looking around for things that you've probably never seen and never will see, and picking out candy or snacks, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a whole experience.
It was.
You
Absolutely.
get like a gumball on the way out too.
Yeah.
And it like lost its flavor by the time you got to the car. And you're like, that
Unless
was
it was
cool. I
like
can't
that
wait to watch my movie or play my
weird
video
white
game.
gumball. Do you
That's
guys
it.
remember that? The weird white
Oh
one?
yeah.
It was just one, it would be like, like that. Just like the Taco Bell thing that's not there anymore. They took the water out. That thing was sick. We tried to buy one here for the brewery, but they were like literally like $5,000. So we're like, never mind. We have a
Oh my
bunch of
God.
memorabilia here anyway. So
Wow.
You guys have, well, if I could plug that, and you are in the area to go to Necromantic, they have some amazing memorabilia there. So like
Really
Sonia, I
cool
was showing
stuff.
like your husband Eric was there, and I was like, take a look at this. Like, I showed him the Tar Man because he had no idea what was going to be in that barrel, and he freaked
Oh
out.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. I love it.
I
Yeah,
think my
there's just great
favorite.
references sprinkled all
Mm-hmm.
over. I had the three seashells in the bathroom.
That's my favorite.
I nearly pissed my pants. So good. I'm literally working on a cross stitch like as we speak. That's going to go over the toilet. Like practice good hygiene.
I
But
love it.
it's such a vibe. It's just bravo.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you. Yeah, we work really hard. It's like, and now I feel like it's become like a collection. Like, of our stuff. It's like when you move in somewhere and like where normally it'd be like a toothbrush, I'm like, here's my fake dead baby. And it's just like, it's like crazy stuff. He's always like, what is that? I'm like, oh, I put that there. Like my niece made this huge bouquet. One of my favorite things that we have here for the memorabilia is like we have these like skull things showing off the grain that as soon as you walk in, people like always ask, how do they win these?
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's definitely to show off like what you're drinking. So it's really cool with like obviously our ingredients, our beer names. It's just like from start to finish, we really just love creating an experience. And that's, by going into Spirit Halloween and spending a good amount of money just to throw stuff on, for 365 days a year here. So
And a lot of conventions, we've been to a lot of
Yeah.
conventions over the course of time, meeting a lot of great, actors and actresses.
the donations, people love to donate. Like,
Yeah.
as you said, all the time, we're always getting people. Like, my own family has stuff that, it's like everyone has a piece of horror in their home. I feel like, so it's really cool when someone wants to, give that and be a part of the space without actively being part of the space. So we're always appreciative of like, the donations and things like that. It just makes us feel, it's like, wow, we love gifts. We're both Scorpios, so like gift giving is like really something that we like here. So
That's the love language.
yeah.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. So before we wrap up, because again, this was not a big giant show where it's an hour long movie review, but we just really wanted to really recap this night and give people who weren't there a sort of sense of what it's like to be there, and hopefully we can get even more people next time, which we'll talk about in just a second. Is there anything else you guys want to plug? The Serranos, do you guys have anything coming up that we can talk about at all?
I mean, we do have a short film that, you may or may not have been involved with.
Yeah, we have a new short film called "Do You Hear What I Hear?" We're still working on it, but we just got our first festival acceptance. We'll be at Shawnee Film Festival in Massachusetts. It is at July 18th.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Nice.
so that'll be our
Excellent, guys.
premiere of that. The film's not even done either.
Yeah.
I actually just got the email now of the first pass of the final audio
Right.
mix, so I got to go through that tonight and send the guy notes on that.
I
Yeah,
will. I
that's how
will say
new that is.
it was a lot of fun to. I was very grateful that I was invited to be part of it, and it was a lot of fun to be shooting that night. I really had a ton of fun. Whatever my involvement was, I think it was done in 2 hours, but I didn't care. I hung out the whole night anyway, and it was a great time to be had. What about you guys in terms of? I know we have. Okay, let's just throw it out there.
Let's go. We're
Let's just
excited.
go. Yeah. July 31st. What do you guys do you guys have any plans for July 31st? Anyone?
I feel like don't tell me, He's behind us, isn't he?
I think he is.
Oh, wait. I think we're going to Amity Island that weekend, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The beaches are open, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Right. With
I've
all of
heard.
us, in the next one, I think we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah. So all we're saying is just keep July 31st open, particularly if you are in the Necromantic Brewing Company or area, and that would be, what is our address?
253 Main Street, Farmingdale, Long Island.
So don't forget that 253 Main Street, Farmingdale, Long Island. If you are in that
We'll
area
bite your head off.
or like to travel, we have another live show coming up July 31st, and I'm pretty sure you know
like
what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a 5-minute walk from the LIR train station. Just come on, hop on over.
Yeah.
Hop on the old train.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll show you the way to go home.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And we'll have more. We'll be showing another movie. We'll
lots of surprises.
Lots of surprises, more trivia. And I think another fun time is going to be had.
An experience, to say the least. Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, it really is such a pleasure collaborating and connecting with you guys all the time. Like, it truly feels like
it's always been fun.
Yeah, always. It's like such a good, like, I feel like we're now this, like, as you said, a family of misfit toys right now.
Yeah.
That we're all coming together, and it feels so great to, like, it's like adult friendships. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
You can do that.
Always a challenge.
Making new friends, that's a thing.
That's a thing.
Especially all us neurospicy people. Yeah.
Exactly. I was gonna say I was a Mr. Toy. I wasn't doing it then. I wasn't making friends then. So this is still a new experience for me.
And I mean, thank you guys for kind of letting us. I don't think a lot of other spaces be like, oh, this is your first time having a live show. Yeah. Go ahead and play, and we'll see what happens and hope for the best.
Yeah, giving us that opportunity, we're so very grateful for.
You're welcome. I've found over the course of time where, like, because of, what we do here, you can argue doesn't really exist. You know what I mean? It's not very many horror themed breweries, let alone, horror themed gluten-free breweries. Like, I've done some entrepreneur podcasts or, some speaking engagements, and it's always funny because, the people I connect with, they're always like, we were told that you want to find a niche, but Jesus, like that, I don't know that you could narrow it down any further than that. So you're looking for a gluten-free horror fan that only drinks beer. And I'm like, not really. I mean, kind of, but no, I mean, it's just.
There's a platform for everything and everyone here, really.
I just feel like giving people the opportunity that, like, I wish I had an opportunity where somebody would have been like, hey, man, jump in here and, see how it works out for you. And, so if I can do that for other people, whether it be podcasting or, some of the independent artists that we feature on the walls locally and stuff like that, if I can give everybody, and the vendors, of course,
obviously, and we fell in love with Massgrave. Like, it's awesome. Like, I have to say, like, anytime they want to do something.
Always, happy to be that place for everybody.
Oh, well, super funny. Can we just tell a quick story about how we actually knew each other before we knew each other?
Yes.
I don't know the story, and I'm dying to hear
I'm staying quiet about this. I'm going to stay out of this. She's smart. She walked away. He's taking a drink. He's got to limber up for this one.
I mean,
I'm going to sit like this.
Yeah.
How many years ago? Let's just start with this. How many years ago was this?
That was 2022, I believe.
Yeah.
2022
or 2023.
New Jersey Horror Con, Film Festival portion, Showboat Atlantic City, 500 milligram edible.
And a movie called M is for Mastectomy, part of Dark Tales from Channel X.
Which we also had to get just because of pure nostalgia.
Yeah, we love buying stuff from the vendors. Like, if we have an attachment to it, then we're like, yeah, no, we need this, man. Like, we love it.
So I happened to be mixing some alcohol with gummies. Didn't realize I took a 500 milligram gummy. I just, foolishly assumed the whole bag was 500 milligrams, not
Oh
that
my
each
God.
piece was 500 milligrams. So I always said, I saw Jesus that night. We had a great chat. But in the midst of that, I happened to be front row for their film, and it was up in if you can imagine, let's call it like a theater almost, but there was no seats on the ground floor, but the mezzanine had 35 rows that came down. And so I was in the front row because nothing had kicked in yet. And this poor movie was going on. This woman was getting a mastectomy. And the way I describe it was, oh yeah, this woman was getting her tits chopped off. And I was just, rolling in my seat. I couldn't stop laughing because the highs and the lows were hitting me so hard that 1 minute I was like holding on to my chair as though like you're waiting for that next drop in a roller coaster. And then the next minute I was almost in tears laughing so hard. And I remember everybody just turning to me being like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like, why is he like, there's like, I get it, but no, like it's not. And then, Manny, even you said you recall hearing somebody jovially
In my
laughing.
perspective from this now, I was there. She wasn't there. I was there with a friend and one of our actresses, Dina Demko. And when the movie was starting, we went to the theater. Like he said, it's up. There's a mezzanine balcony to watch it, but we didn't know that. So me and Dina walked into this empty theater, and the movie was playing, and we're like, literally, there's no one here to watch the movie. And we just said, well, what the fuck? So we stood around for a couple minutes to see if anybody showed up. And mastectomy comes on, and I'm apparent. I actually don't remember it. She remembers this though because I texted her. There's some lone, as far as I was concerned, because there's nobody else. We're like, there's some guy up in the balcony laughing by himself watching this movie. And I said, well, at least someone's enjoying it because as far as there was no one there. We heard the laughing, and I walked down all the way up to the stage. And just because of the angle from looking there, you still can't see the seats up. So I'm trying as hard as I can. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm sitting in an empty theater with some guy sitting in the rafters laughing.
Just heckling.
And I'm
He could have been a
texting
ghost.
her about it. There's somebody laughing. Somebody's enjoying this. Me and Dina, we're getting the fuck out of here. And we went and we sat at the bar with John. Oh my God, Night of the Living Dead.
Russo?
John Russo.
Yeah.
We went there because Dina and Tom Ryan happened to know him, so they were at the bar. So we sat there with them while he was apparently tripping balls watching our movie. We had no idea that anybody was in there at all, but it's good to hear that there was people up there.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
looked. Someone told us that there was a mezzanine that there was up. We looked. We couldn't find the entrance to it.
So when we set up, he was like, "Why the fuck do you have this movie?"
Yeah, 3 years later now.
Yeah.
3 years later, he sees the
And
movie sitting on a table. You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, that's amazing.
And that's something that like frequently happens at Necromantic. Like it will be the manifestation almost like where, you don't want you're like sitting there talking about maybe like an ex or an old friend or something like that, right? And then all of a sudden that person like texts you. Necromantic is a similar thing. Like there will be times where we're sitting here, a person will walk in and then another person will walk in and they'll be like, oh, yeah, like, I was at this concert at like, I don't know, the Bowery Ballroom in New York, blah, blah, blah. And I was so drunk. And someone will be like, yo, I saw you in the bathroom there, man. Like, it's crazy stuff. Like, the reconnections that happen in this place are, there's no reason for it. It cannot be like, what's the word I'm looking for? It can't be like connected. There's something beyond that. It has to
That
be.
makes sense because the community is a tight community at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So,
Like you said,
people
you looked for
will
that little
rec-
niche. Apparently, that niche is not as niche as you think.
Yeah.
Either that or there's only 100 of us in the world. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also say that you built it and we came.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? That's the best compliment of all, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't even drink beer. What am I doing?
Same, same.
But the mocktails are amazing. That
Yeah.
time warp tea was so good.
Yes, and we are trying to include more of those things going forward for the community and stuff like that, because we know that we're now living in a society where people are being a little bit more conscious about, you know, the ABVs of things and things like that. So I'm really excited to kind of bring a new, you know, where people are kind of trying to not drink so much. Or just different options. You know, some days it's like, dude, I got work at 7 a.m., but I don't want to not be there for the vibe. So,
Right.
Yeah,
you know,
I
Yeah.
love it.
It's a great environment
Great.
for that too. Yeah. So thanks.
Well, thank you all for coming always and
Yeah.
supporting and talking it up and even wanting to get involved in any capacities. And it's really cool. It really is. Because
Yeah.
like, you know, it's been said before, and you know, like even in something as simple as like, you know, you do a podcast and you're saying to yourself, well, who the hell's going to listen?
Yeah.
You know, so I built this place and I was always just kind of like, well, who the hell's going to care? You know, and
Right.
even if people do care, is it going to be enough to sustain like a life or an afterlife, you know, where
Yeah.
we're going to be able to pay bills and, you know, this is going to be a thing and, you know, money making like, you know, profits aside, but it's just like, you know, can we even be sustainable within our own, you know, little realm? And it's been really cool over the course of time meeting, you know, you guys and, you know, many others. And I say without the people, you know, this place is nothing, but it's cool where it, you know, like right now it's very quiet. It's just the two of us here and, you know, you could sit here and it's nice just to sit here. But when people are here and it's breathing and living, it's a thing of its own. But I can't do that alone. You know, you guys bring that energy. And I think that's what's so wonderful. And,
So
you know, doing My Bloody Valentine and then, you know, the
yeah.
Rocky Horror thing. And now, you know, the movie that shall not be named, but is literally spelled backwards behind me. You know, it's just the stuff that, you know, like I said, and you could see, you know, what do we have, you know, 25 people there that night roughly. And it was, you know, the energy is so great. You know, you think you're sitting there watching a movie, but when you go to the movies, what's the number one thing you're really not supposed to do? Talk and
Right.
socialize. You know, everyone's shh. You
Right.
know, so when you get to do it here, that's the gag, you know, where you can sit here and you know, get gassed on a movie or, you know, make jokes on a movie like, oh, I can't believe that, you know, oh look, that still holds up. You know, do you remember what was the last time you saw this? You know, things that you just can't do in a theater normally. And I think that's what makes it so cool. And then, you know, the one thing that has always been said to me is that, you know, people come in here alone, but then they leave having had
Couple of friends. Yeah.
conversations with countless others.
yeah, we really like try to create, you know, the cinephile experience here. So, and really try to bring a wide range of horror to the community. That's why we have themed months, and I can't wait for July, where that's another, you know, when animals attack, wink, wink, another one. So, you know, we really like to bring, you know, during Rocky Horror, even though it wasn't so much the theme, however, it does coincide. It's like neighboring cousin movies in the way of it was, you know, Haunted Carnival month. So, you know, that house, Dr. Frankenfurter's house, is a carnival in its own. I mean, definitely house goals, if anything. So we really do like to bring the cinephile experience here. You know, it's an awesome experience in that way.
Yeah. And
Very much
it's a
like,
great venue for that too. You know,
yeah.
like we were
I was gonna
saying.
say, it's very much like we used to do the midnight movies. So we were one of the best ones we went to was the Sunshine Theater. We saw Evil Dead as a midnight movie.
No
Oh,
It
way.
it
was
must have
like
been fun.
incredible because like as soon as you know the tree scene's coming up and they're like, oh, you know, and Necromantic has that same sort of energy where you
Yeah.
can kind of, you know, because they're horror and comedy go so well together.
Mhm.
You know, it's sort of like you can be in a group of people and you're kind of like even if you're not like scared, you know, you can feel the tension. And when somebody breaks it with a joke or something like that, everybody can kind of breathe together.
Mhm.
And it does have like you collectively feel that breath of relief. You know, and I think that's really why horror brings people together because it taps into so many different complicated
Right.
emotions.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and I mean, yeah, you guys bring that midnight movie like
I couldn't agree
5.
more. And then, for us who are the initiated, it's always funny where, quick examples, like Audition, you're watching Audition on a big screen and you've got a room full of people that have never seen this film
Yeah.
before. Sleepaway Camp, excellent example, that last scene. And so, when you're watching a room full of people, their reaction is worth, even more than anything, because, you've seen the film how many times,
Yeah.
but through seeing it through somebody else's eyes for the first time, it's a truly unique and special experience. And so when I'm behind the bar and I can see a room of 20 and 30 people and they're just like with their mouth, and that you got them, so to
Yeah.
speak, and it's such a cool experience, and it's hard to get that these days when everything is so remote.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, guys, I mean, we could go on all night, but we're not. I want to thank you guys so much
Like each
for
other too
coming on the
much.
show. Yeah. I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. I wanted our audience to sort of get an idea as to what these live shows are like and what to expect from them. And um, I think this is a great example of that. We both got to see everyone behind the scenes. We get to see a little bit of what the actual place looks like. And so, yeah, guys, thank you so much. We're going to end it here, and but not permanently. We'll see you again in July 31st, where we will be showing a certain fishy kind of movie. All right,
Swatch. It's called
guys,
Swatch.
it's Swatch. We're going to watch Swatch.
Swatch.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, guys.
The Stabby Road podcast was created by Joe Senna, recording technicians Josh Graydon and Eric Todd. The Stabby Road podcast is a production of Fourth Castle, all rights reserved. See you next week.